Hey guys, welcome to something completely different again. This is the project that I've been working on with a group of about 4 other people in one of my classes for the past couple of months. It's called Argus. It's a Star Fox-esque space shoot-'em-up game. It's like an arcade game with a big ship that you fly around and shoot things with a bunch of interesting multiplayer components that make it sort of unique, especially amongst the other games in the class. This intro thing here is fully rendered and stuff like that, and our menus only halfway work. Scores and options don't do anything. Quit will actually quit. But let's start with play. This is the full version of the main storyline of the game, which is kind of limited. It doesn't actually do everything that we wanted it to, simply because of time constraints. And as you can hear, the music has stopped because that's one of the biggest bugs that we've been encountering, is it just randomly stopping for no reason. If I restart the level with the music will continue, and maybe it'll go along a little bit longer this time. But whenever you pop in here, it's just this big asteroid field that you can fly around in. The ship's controls are optimized for a keyboard, but you can turn off this automatic turning thing. So it's like if I hit W or D, or fucking A or D, it'll automatically manage all of the rolling, pitching, and yawing stuff and create these nice coordinated turns. That big thing there is something that I've just noticed recently, and that's the mothership that we've added recently, which is dead. Or did it just move? I didn't create a lot of the AI for this, and there goes the music again. I only did like modeling and level design. So some of the stuff is actually relatively new to me because we've been working separately a lot of times, but we have been meeting with each other to, do some of the bigger stuff and using we've been using P4V for version control, and it is it's a headache whenever you don't set up your branches correctly, or especially whenever there's just one. But it's been working. So controls are fairly basic, pull up, nose down, roll. Yaw is controlled with Q and E, which seems to be more sliding there right now, and you can also use the mouse to do a fine control of aiming the front of it. If you really move it around, you can move faster. As you can see, I'm being shot at by a bunch of the enemies. You can abuse the rate of fire by just clicking. This is normal rate of fire, but if you click really fast, it shoots really fast. Yeah, that soundbite's kind of hilarious because like all the metallic sounds in it were me slamming a Leatherman shut in front of a microphone, then pitching it down. But excuse me. I needed the barb and gotta edit that out. But this asteroid field is fairly well optimized, and it fades in the distance, but if we keep on going through it, following the path of least resistance here in the middle, you can see the second level starting up, which is made up of these big eldritch-looking spire things, which, if anybody's watched the Sonus Etheria video, you'll recognize them. They're the same asset. I stole these and put them in this game because why not? The fog increases so that you don't notice the transition as much whenever you pop into it. You can see that little bit of lag it just did. Just ignore the Z fighting over there, it'll be fine. I've seemed to have escaped the level a little bit too. Sometimes things act up a little bit. I can't tell exactly what's going on, but you can see back here we've got a bunch of enemies who have popped up on the scope. They're all highlighted with little billboard things that don't really change size. And something that can really help with killing a bunch of enemies at the same time, and the reason why I have a friend with me, is the rather unique multiplayer mode in this game mode. So if I hit this, we have a turret. If I hand it over, he has now control of a turret on the back of the thing. Now it is locked to the ship, and it makes it difficult for him to aim if I start going around like a madman. But that's part of the thing, is managing who's moving, managing evasive maneuvers and maneuvers from that thing. And it looks kind of ridiculous as well whenever you start shooting out of it because the rate of fire is very high. So 1,200 rounds minute, I think I'm getting shot and it hurts. Yeah, you'll find yourself, not being hit by anything, then all of a sudden being hit by very many things. And you can see down there that the blue thing, that I keep wanting to say menu because I've been dealing with the main menu so much. But the blue bar is shields and they regen, and the red bar is just your hull integrity, and that doesn't regen. The object of this game mode, I believe, is to kill that mothership, and if I'm not careful, I'll crash into the ceiling. So if I kind of hang out a little bit and allow my buddy to shoot all of the incoming... Holy shit, there's a lot of them. That's not gonna... Don't go in circles, that's nauseating. I can also increase speed, like, pretty fast. It's a pretty fast ship. Ugh. But... wow. It gets pretty, like, heady whenever you get everything going. I'm not taking too much damage right now, but it will eventually. The little blue bullets don't hurt very much, but the missiles hurt a lot. And if you crash into a bomber, it's pretty much... It's a one-shot from full health if you hit one of these things. If you want to be a dick, you can just, like, do this. And it makes it nearly impossible to aim the turret. Which I have just checked to make sure that the expo is enabled, so it softens the way the sticks feel, and I just changed the dead zone, because the dead zone was, like, really bad at first. It was, like, 0.25 something. I better start going because I'm gonna die. Oh, I died. Yeah, there's another bug, is the multiplayer split screen not being split screen, but whenever you go back into it, interesting, it created a second ship, which is probably hanging out there in space. I'm not exactly sure what makes it do that, but I think it's fine now. The music's back, and we can just start blasting. I'm just gonna chill out and let them try to hit these things, because you do have to pull lead on all of them. Hey, you killed something. Yeah, you don't get a score for getting turret kills because it's not programmed to. Oh, the music died again. Yeah, the turret camera is designed to look like, it's like a GoPro strapped to the back of it, so it's got like a little bit of green to it. You know, make you think that it's got some night vision even though it's darker. Yeah. Some grain and chromatic aberration around the edges to, you know, give it that, like, small camera effect. It's also got a narrower field of view, which is kind of weird because I wanted to give it a little bit of fisheye, but that's not really associated with narrow field of view. And just to be nice, we made it so that you can still get score for things crashing into you. So if something crashes into you, it counts as you killing it. Yeah, there's a lot of particle effects in this. So it gets, like, really heavy on small machines. Like, I did a lot of work on this with my laptop, and it's... Oh, it's... Oh, you killed something! That missile's, like, moonwalking over there. No, it's coming back. But yeah, the main game mode is pretty fun, but it's not the only thing in the game. And I just noticed the player 1, 2, 3, and 4 health bars are up even though they don't exist. In this game mode, there is an unenabled mode in which you go inside the ship, and any one of these, I believe the red ones were supposed to crash into your ship and deposit an alien, and you'd have to fight it off, and that would have been like a 2D side-scrolling, like, ow, I died. But I was saying, like, that would be like a 2D side-scrolling, like, beat-em-up, almost like Smash, which is visible here. This is the multiplayer mode. And whenever you go into this mode, you end up with a couple of these default characters that are in Unreal. We don't have, well, we do have some models made for them, but they're not enabled yet because we're having some issues making their animations work. So they're not in there yet for the presentation, unfortunately, but eventually they will be, and it'll be a really interesting, like, couch co-op game, because our whole point is we're bringing back couch co-op in a game that has a lot of different stuff in it, but still manages to look good and play well. We can't bounce off of each other in this mode. We do clip. But this is just like the staging area where you can screw around with your friends and before you go into the actual game. So if you hit Y, we can spawn into a multiplayer world, which is based on the other one, but is smaller, and doesn't do the fadeaway thing, like the other one was doing. And the object here is to kill your friends. These ships are the same model, but they're physically larger by, I think the other ones were set at 1.75, and these are set at, like, 5? So they feel a little bit bigger, they look they're a little bit easier to hit, and we also increase the rate of fire. Otherwise, their speed is the same. Well, oh, I got him. And whenever you kill somebody, it brings you back to this menu where you can restart. There was originally a delay put into it, but that seems to break the game because welcome to the wild world of programming and, well, blueprints, which blueprints are easy, look nice, but whenever something goes wrong, you can't fix it. So if you hit Y again, we can actually get into a battle. Yeah, you can cheese this, because if you hit the respawn button, it just gives you a new ship. Stop it. And if you really want to be trolly, you can just run. By default, the controls are unlocked for this. This is why you can, you know, roll. If I hit middle mouse button, it automatically levels the aircraft, and you can, if you pull up all the way, it just doesn't.
You can also hit the left stick.
Yeah, it's on a left stick on the controller, does the same thing, but it feels awful on a controller to do that. Ugh. Yeah, you'll notice the background music is just ripped from my outros. But this one is special. It's made specifically for it, and I can't find him. I'm gonna screenshot. Oh, he's behind me. Oh no, that actually kind of hurt. Yeah, there's no sound effects for getting hit in this version of it because the other one actually uses a player pawn, whereas this is a player character, which allows us to hold our health better. Whoa. This laser beam's escaping. He thinks he can hit me, but I've got something between me and him. Wow, those are actually pretty scary. But this is actually a really fun game, and there's been several class periods where instead of actually working on stuff, we've just been playing this at like 20 FPS on a laptop. And it's been kind of great. And I love the like goofy details, like the sighting reticle cast a shadow in this fog. I should mention that we're in space, but there's all this atmospheric fog, and it looks nice because we're trying to emulate the rings of a planet. And the light shining through it kind of looks like that. So I just left it in. It makes it more interesting, adds some variety to it, and all these peanut-shaped rocks. There are some of these asteroids you can fly through, and they have a advanced hitbox, whereas the other ones have a not advanced hitbox. I'm currently being tracked by this guy. Yeah, those shots will be here momentarily. I'm considering adding some, changing the roll rate and pitch rate for whenever you're going faster, you can't turn as quickly. And that would be a nice addition to, like, putting a little bit more skill in the maneuvering, because, to be honest, these things feel kind of sluggish, and getting into a turning battle with your friend is just... it doesn't work. This is mostly about being able to lead targets at a general range. Although by the looks of things, the terrain is going to kill him before I get a hold of him.
Oh, I hit the edge.
Yeah, there is a floor.
Yep.
Oh, he's on fire.
Not anymore.
Yeah, if you get low health, I never actually was able to show it off. If you get low health, your ship catches on fire and a fire effect comes out of it. And in the normal game mode, makes it pretty difficult to see what you're doing, especially if you're in the turret mode, because that uses a different camera. And that camera... Oh, he hit me. Oh god, he's hitting me. I'm out of here. Woo. God, sometimes you can't really see what you're aiming at. This is a pretty fun game overall, and we might actually end up publishing it whenever we're done with all the features and getting it working. Because currently, right now, we're not able to get it to build, which is why we're playing it in the editor. In fact, if you launch it from the editor, it doesn't act right. So I think something's happened. We got a little bit of file corruption going on. Where is he hiding? I can't see him. Ah, there he is. Yeah, see, I have access to the camera that rotates, whereas the controller doesn't have any of that mapped. And it doesn't return back to center whenever you do that, which is a little bit annoying, but it'll be fine. Hit the brakes. Oh, he's going. Let's get some shots on target. What the? Oh, you broke my lasers. You made them stop. Yeah, that's cheating.
Call it eliminating your home court advantage.
Yeah, he's abusing the respawn button, which is always enabled. We can change that really easily with the Boolean modifier. But in essence, this is pretty much the game, is just flying around in space and shooting at things with a bunch of shiny lasers, which are in fact actual objects. But let's see if I can get him one more time. Let's show this thing off. You'd think I'd know this place like the back of my hand because I created it, but in actuality I have no idea where anything is.
I'm just flying around.
It'll show up eventually. Oh. And that's basically the game. There's just a little bit of things, some fun multiplayer stuff, couch co-op. We actually do support 4 players, but I don't have enough controllers on me, or well, people in the room for that matter, to play 4 players, and even then, whenever you get that going, it is absolutely wild.